Good morning, Fatima. So today we are going to reverse roles. A journalist is interviewed by, someone who used to be a politician, now is the director of an NGO. Thank you so much for having given us the opportunity of being with you. The Maldives is a country that is pretty well known by Western, especially tourists, and it is, thought of as a tropical paradise. But those of us that are following more the political issues, the Maldives was and is a very important country because it was one of the first where a full democracy was installed in a fully Muslim state. And we were accompanying the experience of the Maldives with a very enthusiastic, in a very enthusiastic way. So, could you tell us about the coup d'état and the recent arrest of the democratically elected president of the Maldives?
Yes, like you've said, on the newspapers you would mostly read that it's paradise on earth, and it's such a big tourist destination. However, things within the Maldives, locally, it's not. It's the exact opposite of paradise, I would think, because first of all, when we became a democratic nation, before that it was a 30-year dictatorship, and people were suffering so much. And the first democratically elected president was one of the few freedom fighters for our country. So he fought almost all of his life for the people of the nation. He fought for freedom of expression, freedom of speech, and freedom of thought. And he was well known because he spent almost 12 years in prison, because he fought for the people of the nation, for our freedom. Since President Nasheed came to power in 2008, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy for the Maldivian Democratic Party government. It wasn't easy for him. There were all sorts of threats, but then, that is what democracy is. You have to, you give the freedom for the people to express themselves. However, there were so many developments, there were so many changes that we never thought there could ever be in the Maldives. There were so many rights given to us. Anybody could say anything on TV, on radio, and that was something that was so new to us. However, since I would say late September of 2011, the opposition parties started to come on TV, go on radio, and even on magazines. It was published that they would not let President Nasheed compete in the 2013 election. I myself saw one of the opposition leaders saying on TV that if they do not topple the government, then they would not win the election in 2013. And there was this big protest on 23rd of December 2011 where religion was the main reason, and they accused President Mohamed Nasheed and his government of not being religious enough, and there was a huge protest. And since then they protested for almost about 23 days, and then on February 6th the police, they went and mutinied, and the army joined them on the morning of February 7th, and then that's how the coup d'etat happened, and the president had no choice. When the army and the police, they mutiny, there's nothing much. I don't think there's anything much that anyone can do. So it was on February 7th, 2012.
Well, thank you very much for this explanation. We have seen very clear positions from the High Commissioner, Lady Catherine Ashton, on the issue, and we at the South Asia Democratic Forum would like to express our full solidarity with President Nasheed and with the Maldives Democratic Party, since we think that democracy is the only way we can have peaceful and developed South Asia. We think that the ideologies of hate and the manipulation of religion for political interest is the biggest drama that South Asia, as well as some other regions in the world, is facing. And I would like to say that very clearly that we will stand by the democratic elected institutions of the Maldives, and we will do whatever we can to support you. And
Thanks very much.
you're quite welcome. And I hope you will manage to convey in the difficult present situation this message to the Maldivans.
Thank you very much. And I would like to add a little more, if I can.
Yes, you
Yes.
are.
From my own experience, during the time of the dictator, I never knew. I thought I had to be controlled. That was what I was thinking. I thought it was wrong to be free. It was wrong to express myself. So it was only after I went for higher education abroad that I learned that people from around the world, they could say anything they want. They had the freedom. They had the freedom to do anything. So that's when I realized that all the time what President Nasheed, well, he wasn't the president back then, he was just a prisoner, but he went through all those, he went through torture, he was in prison, and there were few others that was tortured with him. So, it was such a big sacrifice for our nation, and I feel that if they didn't stand up for us, we would never have seen, those few years of democracy. And I feel that every Maldivian should stand up for what they stood up for us. And also, since the coup, there has not been a peaceful day in the Maldives. There has been more than 1,000 arrests. People have been beaten up, MPs have been beaten up. One MP was stabbed to death just about a week and some days ago, and religious extremism is spreading, and well, everything that you see on the magazines and TV about Maldives being paradise is not real for us.
Do you think it would be useful for the European people that are visiting Maldives to know what the reality is, and that side by side with paradise by the sea, there is hell for those who seek freedom and democracy in the Maldives?
Yes, I think so, because yesterday I had the chance to speak to some of your colleagues, some of the members of the SADF, and they were actually very shocked. And I feel that people who visit the Maldives, they have no idea, because so much is done to shut the news from going out. Every time someone stands up and speaks on it on the international media, something else is said against that to, opposing what they're saying, hiding the truth. So I feel that if tourists knew what was going on, how the Maldivians are suffering, it would have a big effect. And I feel that it is when all the institutions fail, I feel they've failed. So when all the institutions fail, there is no one else to go to but other countries, other neighboring countries and other organizations. And we've got very little support, which is surprising, because when the coup d'etat happened on the 7th of February, we were so hopeful that when the news hits the international media, it would come to an end. There would they would do a proper investigation, and democracy would be restored once again. But it's been 9 months since the coup, and nothing has changed, if at all. It's gotten worse. And just before I came to Brussels, the day I left the Maldives, President Nasheed was arrested, and he was campaigning for the 2013 election, but he was arrested and nobody knew about his whereabouts till about 4 hours since he was arrested, because he was in another island, and then he was brought to court the next day, and he still has got more than, I think, 3 cases that he has to go to, that he has to face. And it all just sums up to being the opposition not wanting him, or finding a way to make it possible for him to not participate in the next election.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your courage.
But the thing is, somebody has to come out with the truth.